Empire was so unapologetically black this episode, and I appreciate all of it. Hey guys, my name's Romie. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is my quick recap for Empire Season 3, Episode 2, Sin That Amends. Now, the episode starts off with Cookie. Cookie, you know, she's been woken up by these people who keep bringing all of this clearly Lucius-esque propaganda, and I'm calling it propaganda because he's trying to go and pitch himself to Cookie with this whole "take me back, I still love you." You know, I did end up marrying Anika, but at the end of the day, I still love you. So he's trying to buy her affection. He goes, he gets her a lion statue. He goes, gets her an expressive gold-plated espresso machine, gets her a gold-plated gun, you name it, and it's being wheeled into her house. Designer bags, everything. She's like, take it back, Portia. Take it back. I don't want any of it. Lucius comes home to see why in the world are all these women trying to audition to be America's next top babysitter. Lucius kicks all of them out. And I agree with him on this. I'm thinking, Anika, have you lost your damn mind? Why would you go and have these women come in here? You know the feds are watching you. You really gonna invite some outsider into your home? It's bad enough you're in his house, period, with his mother. And you know, Leah's just like, I raised Lucius, well, she doesn't call him Lucius, Dwight. I raised Dwight all by myself. And so Lucius is like, look, you have one job, and it's not even to be my wife. It's to go and take care of my baby. I'm like, yours? Anyway, apparently Angela Yee was on this episode, and if you listen to Power 105.1, The Breakfast Club, you already knew from this morning that that was the case. Shout out to Angela Yee. She was interviewing Angelo, who is Tay Diggs, and Jamal. So Angelo and Jamal, they're, for whatever reason, they're being interviewed at the same time. Now, Angelo is this high-powered politician, this very polished politician, and Jamal, he's trying to talk about the music, but they also need to talk about something very important because Jamal's woke this season. He's already been partially woke, but now he's all the way woke. Jamal wants to go and talk about important things like gun violence and things of that nature, but he makes a good point. It's just like, because Angelo's trying to say how, well, you know, if we just teach these kids better and lead them through this path, they'll be good. Jamal's like, no, you don't understand how it works. These kids don't know anything else aside from what's around them. If they think that, you know, handling things the way that they handle with gun violence and all of that, if that's all they see, then you can't go and say, well, you know, it's just these kids go. No, it's bigger. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. Jamal, Angelo's kind of coming off as a little whitewashed. Jamal, but he does back Jamal up in the corner. It's just like, since you're acting like you're so woke, you know, talking about Frida and saying how, even though Frida shot you, and by the way, you are a victim, it's just like, no, I'm not a victim. I'm a survivor. I am not no victim. And it's just like, okay, so you're not a victim of gun violence, but you do want to do something about it. It's just like, of course. Well, then why don't you go and join me for this summit? You know, it's with these kids. We're trying to promote college and education and forward thinking and stop the violence type of thing. And so he's with it. Cookie's like, don't be baited. Don't be baited. What are you doing? Don't be baited. So Cookie's just like, why did you go and do that? It's bad enough you went and did the thing for Frida, but now you have other things to worry about. And so then this is where Cookie gets officially introduced into Angelo, and she's over it because she's like, excuse me, you just so clean cut and you act like you have it all together. You don't understand anything about the streets and what's going on with my son. You're trying to take advantage of a situation. I see right through you. And it's just like, no, I'll make my schedule. It's just like, he's busy. Jamal's busy. No, I'll figure it out. I'm going to be there. It's just like, stupid. You know how Cookie is. Now, Lucius is talking to Shine about Nessa. And Lucius is trying to go and actually recruit Shine. But, because technically she is kind of doing stuff with Empire, but she's not all the way signed with Empire yet. Of course, Nessa is really interested in what Lucius has to say. He is very charismatic. Shine's trying to make sure that she doesn't go and fall for it. Hakeem is saying how, well, you know, we'll go and work together. And also, Shine has a couple of ideas as well. Lucius is saying, Hakeem, how are you going to work with her if you have to handle your responsibilities as a father? Did you forget about that fun fact? You know what, Nessa, don't worry about him. He has too much on his plate to handle. You know, a couple of singles may work, but you're the star. You became the star for Empire Extreme, the streaming service. So you know what we can do for you. You already see that your name is blowing up. It's all the way up. So, come on. Come on. Now Cookie comes in. Cookie comes in with all of the things that Lucius bought her. And Cookie's just like, look, I understand what you think you're trying to do, but why don't you go and give these diamonds to your wife? Why don't you go and do all this for your wife? Because that's not what she is. And why did... Lucius is still irritated with Jamal, so it's just like, so Cookie, about your son, about our son, Jamal, he doesn't want to perform, it's very apparent. I'm going to go and put out the Black and White album. Jamal doesn't want the Black and White album put out. He wants to do this other, you know, Black Lives Matter tip, just everything else except for music right now. But don't worry, you know I have the music part covered. We have Tiana who's working on a project that'll come out at the end of the month. Clearly, that means that Tiana... probably sometime in October, that's when we'll really see her and hear new music from her. Well, obviously, because... Anyway, and then we have V, so we'll see V again. J Papa, well, he's allegedly still going to re-sign with Empire because his contract is up. So Lucius is just like, oh, this is cute. The fact that you're still... you have it all handled. That's why I love you. It's just like, shut up, stupid. I feel like that should be her catchphrase. Jamal is giving the kids and also Angelo a tour. The kids know this is Lucius. So Jamal calls his father over and introduces him to Angelo. And it's just like, you brought a politician into... Okay, but, you know, the kids, and you know I love the kids, so let me go and fade the funk. So you have this kid who's going, and he's going to be going to college. He has a 3.8 GPA. Big things are going on for him, but he wants to rap for Lucius. So he raps for Lucius, and Lucius, because at first the rap kind of came like he was trying to come for Lucius's neck, but no, show him respect to an OG. So that was nice. That was really nice. That was surprising, but I feel like Lucius has his eye on him. Lord Jesus. Kid, go to school. Do not get caught up in this foolishness. So now we get this long studio session between, I guess they're trying to create some chemistry and some magic in the studio where I like the song. You Will Remember My Name. That's essentially the hook for the song. And it's Hakeem, it's Nessa, they're vibing in the studio, and again, they're trying to make it feel like, okay, this is how it actually is when you go and create a song. Almost like, oh, Empire, we just talked about this in the first episode about, okay, Hakeem, okay, at least this felt more realistic than the normal stuff, so I appreciated that. I'm like, this is really dope. She's definitely really dope. And I can definitely see her, Tiana, that's your competition. I'm already calling it. That's your competition. You have to watch out for her because she can definitely, and she's actually speaking some real truth. So Cookie is talking with Becky, and Becky's talking about, you know, the A&R position. That's what Becky has wanted all these years. That's what she's been groomed for, essentially, in her mind, to become the new head of A&R. Now, Lucius comes in, so Cookie's just like, just give me 5 minutes and we'll continue this conversation. Okay, of course, of course. Now, Lucius basically is like, I know Jamal's having issues right now, so here we go. Here's a track for him. You know, Bismarck, you say he's just a friend. That's actually the undertone of the beat. Because originally, Cookie's just like, okay, this is cute. This is, wait a minute now. So then we see the flashback of Cookie, and she's with her sisters. And this is when she first interacts with Lucius, when he's rapping and he's singing that song. Now, the thing is, Lucius is trying to do everything he can to remind Cookie of the good old days when they first got together, before things got really serious and really real. Because his whole thought process is, maybe if I can go and convince her that we were destined to be together, then she'll come back. Cookie's like, no, I handle the music, You handle the business. Not happen anymore, Lucius. Andre is unfortunately going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs at his home, and she's just like, oh, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. I'm thinking, Lord, Andre. So, because he's trying to figure out his medication, he can't balance his medication, and Jamal comes, is just like, bro, I got you. He's like, no, I can't ask you to do it. I can't ask you to. Jamal's like, I have a chart because I'm trying to get off of these painkillers, dude. So I can definitely go and help you out. You're my brother. I love you. We're going to work through this together. Andre always fixes things for other people. So I appreciate the fact that now it's finally the family's time to help him. After, what, 20-something years, it's finally the family's time to go and help Andre. So Jamal has his back. And Cookie goes, and, oh yeah, Cookie did agree to pass the track along to Jamal to see if he'd be interested in recording it. Cookie is pissed because she's just like, wait a minute now. So you agreed to this whole summons things with Jamal just for the music factor because you know that's the only thing I care about. You really think that you can go and... Wait, who is that? Oh, Lord Jesus. Is it Angelo? Alright, hey, what's going on? Yeah, this is Angelo. Yeah, this is who I was talking to. You know, and of course Angelo's really appreciative that Lucius is doing all this because Lucius agreed to essentially pay for the whole thing. Take it from the original venue that they were going to be at and to host it in Leviticus. So he was just like, okay, the kids love it. Angelo's like, the kids love it? You love it? Okay, cool, let's go do it. Cookie is shook by Angelo because she's getting reminded about the fact that this guy is like, how is he going and interacting with these kids? You don't know anything about these kids. These kids are the type of kids that they go and they see adversity, they see struggle, and so their mindsets are different. You're coming in and you're the type, because Lucius gave her the down low, you're the type that you have such a squeaky clean record. You have such a squeaky clean record. No wonder Lucius is working with you. You have ties to no one. Your parents went and bailed you out when you had a speeding ticket for drunk driving. That's the only thing that you've ever done. So how can you go and say that you can relate or understand or even talk about survivors and gun violence and mentalities when you don't know anything about any of that stuff? Makes absolutely no sense. None at all. And Cookie's going off just like you and your well-dressed, you know, posh, pompous attitude and demeanor, clean cut. Ugh. Now, Jamal's like, wow, I've never seen her that upset with anyone with the exception of you, Dad, as in Lucius. So that alone has us thinking, oh, okay, this is definitely Cookie's love interest. We knew that from the start, but it's like, oh, so that's how they're going to introduce it. Now, Cookie is woken to, you got what I need. You say just a friend. And they do a full performance. So yeah, a full impromptu performance occurs. And it was really cool. They were just jamming out. And it's Cookie's birthday. So happy birthday, Cookie. Now, Lucius is leads to let her know, look, you keep talking about the first time that we met. The first time that we met and the first time I saw you are two very different things. You know, I was outside that water ice shop when I saw you get out of the car, and then we see the flashback. She was with her boyfriend, and at the time, I mean, he was like a nerd, corny, whatever have you, but he was a goody two-shoes, and you know, Cookie was going places and was supposed to be a goody two-shoes herself. You know, a Catholic girl. And Lucius is just looking at her. And he decides, you know what? That's going to be his woman. So he waited outside for at least 2.5 hours. And while he was waiting, he was perfecting his rhyme. So even back then, Lucius was sneaky, conniving. That's how I'm phrasing it. And of course that gets to Cookie a little bit. Because this is like, oh, well, you know, we're supposed to be together and all that, but then you have to go mess it up. You know, I just care about the music. Yeah, right. Now, Cookie, this is one of the best scenes, period, because not with Lucius and Cookie, but with Cookie and Andre, because now everyone pretty much knows that Andre's going through it, that Andre's having a lot of issues, and Cookie It's just like, oh, baby, do you want to go to church? Do you want to do this? Do you want to do that? He's just like, no, I don't have a soul. I don't have this. I don't have that. And you know, Andre just has this kind of look and vibe. You know, it's a complete contrast from when he was with Jamal and he had the breakdown. And he sounded like he was 5 years old. This is him, and he just sounds depressed, at least at this point. Not even bipolar. He's just in the depressed phase. He's on the low right now. But I love the fact that Cookie gets him, pretty much jokes him up. It's just like, no, Andre, listen to me. Listen to me. You are a strong black man. You went from the area that you were in, the situation, the environment that you were in, you on your own, well, of course, you know, God, but you on your own, for the most part, pulled yourself up out of that situation, bettered yourself with school and education to become the person you are today. You've had to deal with a lot worse than this. Rhonda going is terrible, and mind you, when is Rhonda gonna have a funeral? Like, Empire loves to kill off people and pretend like they didn't exist. That's why I'm shocked and astonished that Rhonda's getting more lines and attention than when she was ever alive. But, so Cookie was like, no, you're gonna make it, baby, but I got you. When you feel low, I got you. When you feel high, I got you. Whatever's going on, I got you. No more of this, me having this hands-off approach with you. You're my firstborn. I love you, of course, differently than how I love the others. That's not what she said, but you know it's what she meant. Because that was her firstborn child. Regardless of how she babies Jamal and Hakeem, she just assumed Andre had it. Now that she knows that he doesn't, she's going to do everything she can to make sure that he, you know, he doesn't get stuck in the muck. Because that is not where a child of hers, a child of God, belongs. Now, we have Shine, and he notices while he's in the studio with Hakeem and Nessa, and they're hearing the song again, this guy is checking out Nessa. Now this is where it's confirmed that Nessa is his sister. Is his sister. At first I thought it was his cousin, but no, Nessa is his sister. He punches out the guy. He's just like, oh yeah, I need to talk to you. So boom! It's like, yeah, so Hakeem, so about that track. Nessa's looking at Hakeem like, I told you we can't be fooling around like this because, you know, he gon' square up on you. You can't have that. So that, you know, it's going to be a storyline within itself. Lucius is going to have to go and choose between Shine ratting him out or him protecting his son. You know, that's the next extra storyline. Now again, I told you this episode, all throughout this episode, pro-black. I wouldn't be surprised if the ratings take a little bit of a dip because you know how sensitive some people are when it comes to this stuff. And you have the guy who was rapping to Lucius before, and he basically just has, he has him and his, the people in the program with him. You know, they're in this performance, and they're wearing their black, they have their hands up, and the guy's just preaching about school and education, battling adversity, basically rising above it. And this is where Angelo goes and he redeems himself. At least he redeems himself in Cookie's eyes, because originally he was trying to say how Jamal is the victim of gun violence. Nope, a survivor. We're changing that word. A survivor of gun violence. And so he's here today, helped bring all of this together. Really respect him. Respect Lucius for going and setting this up for us. You know, thankfully, I spoke to a really strong woman, and she corrected me on a lot of things. There's a lot of things that I thought I knew that I know nothing about. And of course, anytime a man does that, automatically a woman's just like, oh, okay, some validation, thank you. Now, it made Cookie think, damn, did I really choose correct? Did I really choose correct? Because the guy that she was originally with, the quote-unquote cornball, we see this past montage of, again, when she's younger, and he took her out to eat. I think it was at Red Lobster or something. And mind you, the guy was talking about how he's going to medical school, how she's going to Harvard, or, you know, an Ivy League school, and they just had big plans. And she said, you know what? I have to be honest with you. That's not what I want for myself. I understand, because he's like, you know, and once we get out, we can get married and all of that. She said, hold up. I want to have some fun, and I love music. So what you're thinking and what I'm thinking, we're on two completely different fields. But you know what he said? You need to go for what's yours. You need to go for what you believe in. Chase your dreams. We have one life, and we have one moment to go and decide if we're going to do what we love or just tolerate the rest. And Cookie had so much respect for him. Mind you, just a moment ago, he gave his food away to this homeless man, and Cookie's just like, no, I'm not doing that. And plus the guy, you know, a lot of the homeless people are drug addicts or ex-drug addicts, and he was just like, well, you know, maybe if someone actually helped someone else when they needed it, that wouldn't have happened. And you know, that's very true. Very true. So now it's Lucius' turn to go and be up there, and you know, he's giving props to Angelo and this whole setup and how important it is, you know, woke. And the thing is, Lucius goes and pulls a Lucius, and now he wants Jamal to go and perform. Jamal, then the camera gets in Jamal's face, and Jamal with the lights, and it's just like, Jamal, 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 Jamal. He's just like, so he goes, he runs out. Cookie runs after him. She's like, what's wrong? He's just like, I can't do it. I can't do it. Lucius is like, boy, what's wrong with you? You need to just go up there and face your fears head on. It's just like, what? So you want me to? I know I'm afraid. I know I'm afraid. I know. I know I have a problem. And Lucius just has this look of, I told you. I told you. Cookie's just like, because the thing was, Cookie is the type that, oh, you good? Okay, we're good. Then we're going to move on to the next thing. That's kind of her mentality. So now she's talking with Lucius and trying to figure out what are they going to do to help out Jamal. While they're doing that, that's when Angelo comes back, and he's just thanking both of them for, you know, enlightening him, giving him this opportunity. And then he starts to casually flirt with Cookie. And Cookie's starting to flirt with him back because, again, he was complimenting her, you know, off stage, and now right in front of her face. Lucius steps back, and so then when it's time for Angelo to go and thank Lucius and to shake his hand, it's just like, no, I think you had before. You had it correct before when it was Mr. Lion. Lucius is jealous, that's all it is. J Papa is back, and he's back for Becky. Exactly, that's exactly it. Because J Papa, he's going across the street and signed a new record deal because Empire is a sinking sand. Becky's like, wait a minute, we're at the top of the charts? What are you talking about? It's just like, no, not the charts. The feds, you know, everyone, every single time Empire's in the news is because it's getting raided, something negative is going on. I'm not going to be caught up in that. I want to have a flourishing career. And I love you, so that's why I'm passionate about this. I don't want you to stay here in this muck. See, where's your A&R role? They said they were going to do that for you. That didn't happen. They just want to string you along. They're not going to actually do anything for you. Yeah, it's something for you, so you just need to come. So now we have the Lion brothers. They're all together, and they're just talking about their problems. And it's just like, you know what? Regardless of what happens, we have each other's back. Jamal's going to try and get the music back, try and perform again, and also get off of the pain meds because he's getting a little bit too comfortable with the meds. And I appreciate the fact that they keep voicing that, because you know that it's realistic for people to get addicted to drugs just like that with pain medication, just with some recent deaths. Most notably, we're not even going to mention his name because living legend, that's how we're going to remember him. But Hakeem's going to go and be a father. And of course his family's going to support him. Well, minus Lucius. And then Hakeem's just like, well, what about you, Drace? It's like, I have to go and just get Rhonda out of my head. I'm going to get the last of my things from our place, and then we'll be cool. Now we see Tariq, he's in his dusty old apartment, and he's just spying on his half-brother, which is Lucius. And we see this flashback of his mom picking him up because, you know, he was jamming out with the other guys when Cookie was there, and they were just dancing and doing all of that, and while Lucius was singing, because his mom was just like, don't you ever tell him that you're his brother, his half-brother. His mother is crazy, and you know he's a thug. He's a thug. He's going to get you in trouble. They're both trouble. Do not ever get close to them. Ever. They are the bane of our existence. Just know that. I'm thinking you opened your legs to loot. Anyway. So Anika goes and she gets her baby, puts her baby to sleep. And when she gets the baby monitor and she's just casually going by where all the teddy bears are, she hears this weird distortion. And thankfully, Anika is... That's why I'm like, oh Lord, is Anika gonna gain Boo Boo Kitty back? Are we gonna get Boo Boo Kitty back? You know, before she went and did that foolery? Are we gonna get that same conniving person that we almost start to respect? Because she's like, she starts doing the Inspector Gadget. And Lucius hears this like, what the hell is that sound? And she's just like, oh my gosh. Lucius comes right behind her. They're both staring at that bear. It's just like, well, you know, we have all these beautiful things for our daughter. And then we have this dusty old bear. Why don't we go and give it away? And so then he goes, removes the eyes, and it's cameras. And I'm like, Anika! Boo Boo Kitty, you back! You almost back! Oh my gosh, if you start putting up a fight next episode and not taking stuff from... we might respect you again. Like, thank you, God, that they're doing this for her character. Then, the last scene is Andre's getting the last of his things from his old place. And then, the police show up. And we're thinking, why the police? Oh, no, he's in a rich white neighborhood. This was such a pro-black episode. He's in a rich white neighborhood. And it looks like someone who possibly could have been his neighbor. And I'm thinking... he lived here. How did you not know he lived here? Did he work so much that you never saw him? Or did he only come home at night? Like, what's going on? She goes, I guess it was her who called the police, hypothetically. Because we know it was Tariq who did this. And Andre's still not in his full right frame of mind. So the guy's just like, yeah, bro. So what up, dude? And I'm just like, look, boy. It's just like, oh, no, I'm just getting my stuff. I'm just going to go, you know, that's where I live. And it's just like, my ID's in the car. It's just like, no, I'm like, Andre, you've been around them a little bit too much. Andre, yes, sir. No, sir. You are a big black man. You are automatically a threat to them. Come on now. So then, I'm like, how did this officer just flip him like, oh my... So they go and flip him, and it's just like, one is basically on his back, and the other one's putting the cuffs on with the gun to his hand. Like, Andre, just pass out. Andre, Lord, just take over his body, because they're going to shoot him, and if they shoot him, I'm going to lose it, because Andre doesn't deserve this. He fixes people, Empire, yeah, I see it. I love it. I respect it. Thank you. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already done so. Come back next week.